More equity. We call them other partners. All right. These could be your friends and families or relatives. As long as you didn't go after them already for the Amway program, they should be somewhat open to listening to what you have to say. Referrals are great from other friends and sources, right? Previous investors, which could be yours for other projects. Some of you that have residential properties and you've done deals, you might have some credibility with them. I will tell you this, the reason why we've been talking about creating your product and implementing, even if you're starting with residential, the commercial, is because it'll be so much easier to transition these people that you've done business with directly to commercial because they heard from the beginning that you were involved in commercial. Try that now that you've only done residential. They're more like, uh-oh, shiny object syndrome. They're switching gears, right? So it's harder to trust. But you still might get somebody who's a client. Raul was one of our investors. He started residential. The man will pretty much go wherever I go. And that's awesome. That's because he knows I'll crawl over broken glass to get his money back. As long as you keep that same attitude, people will do the same for you. They'll follow you, they'll write you a check, because they know that you're not there to screw them. You're there to make the best investment possible. And if you know how to do it, and you've already looked at the numbers and how we do it, then you're able to structure a solid deal that protects your investor, and it protects you. And you can both make money. All right, seller. It can be the primary, the secondary, subordinate. I mean, there's a bunch of ways. You can option a first right of refusal. I mean, it's incredible what you can do with this stuff. You can assume their mortgage, by the way, and very easy to do, for the most part. And the real deal here is if they don't want to partner with you, then the next step for you is to do what? Would you be willing to hold a note? Would you be willing to finance? The reason for that is because they understand this deal. Do you need to go through a whole qualifying process and pull all this stuff together if they're willing to finance the majority of your deal? No. They already know the deal. So it's not like you got to go provide all the information. Hey, sir, my debt service coverage ratio is this. They don't care. It's their building. And if you don't pay them, they'll take it back from you. Right? So they might be willing to finance up to 75%. I've seen some as high as 94. That's as high as I've ever gotten. But there's because there's a big upside on the deal. That's the only reason why we went that way. What you need to remember is when you start talking, let them tell you what kind of return. I've seen people screw up a whole deal. Well, and, we'll pay you 12% return on your money. Really? Are you kidding me? It's a 12 cap, you moron. What did you just do? Now you're paying them 12%. So now you're sitting there, hopefully it'll grow in cash flow because you just killed your whole deal. And so, again, don't just throw a number. Let them tell you what kind of return they want. And many times they recognize the importance. And if they don't yet, then you remind them, hey, listen, I know if I were to buy you out cash right now, you're going to have capital gains. I don't mind making a sizable down payment on this. Don't get me wrong. I understand. You need some cash right now. But if you turn this into a note, you'll make more of a return long term. If you want a term where I buy you out in 5 years and I pay you out, we do a 5-year balloon, 10-year balloon, that's fine. But remember what I talked about as far as debt is concerned. Do not get over leveraged, especially in today's economic times. Debt will kill you. Debt is what will literally drop you on the floor, and now you can't get back up. And that's the reason why we're going to make a bunch of money. So it just depends on which side of the fence you're in. Right?